congratulations on your UEFA Player of the Match there. It hasn't been a bad few days. Your first goals at Stamford Bridge at the weekend, and how does it feel to have your first Champions League goal for Chelsea?
Oh, it feels really well. I'm really happy with the win. I guess a tough opponent, but you know, we really kept the game under control. Yeah, we have to keep growing. I think today was a better performance than we did at the weekend. I'm happy with the win, happy with the goal, so you know, happy days for us.
When that ball came in from Cesar, did you know exactly where you were going to place it to give the goalkeeper no chance?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, me and Cesar, we agree on certain type of movements on the pitch, and it was a beautiful ball from him. I just had to get my timing right, and then I had to place the ball in the corner.
Overall, was it a much tougher night than expected?
I think Zenit is a very good team, very experienced team that, you know, won a lot of titles in their league. So we knew it would be a tough game, but we controlled the game really well, tried to create chances, and we won. It was the most important thing.
It was really hard to try and break them down in that first half. What did the manager ask for more of in the second half?
Just, you know, a little bit of movement in the middle of the pitch, trying to have the extra man in the middle, and then yeah, from there we tried to create chances, maybe through balls or me holding the ball and putting players in or crosses, and that's what we did, and you know, eventually we scored a goal from that.
And that run from Rudiger at the start of the second half really seemed to lift this place and the atmosphere. It felt like it was just what the game needed. Could you feel yourselves on the pitch feed off that atmosphere?
Yeah, I did. I expected the ball at the end though, but you know, it was good. It was good for the stadium. It got the crowd going. It got us as a team going. And sometimes you need moments like this as a team when you know, the moments is a bit low.
It would have been some goal if it had gone in.
Yeah, I would be the first one with him.
And you fulfilled a childhood dream scoring at Stamford Bridge at the weekend. How much of a dream would it be to get your hands on this trophy in St. Petersburg?
One game at a time. You know, today was the first game. Now we have a difficult game against Tottenham at the weekend. We have to prepare, and then we'll see.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Nice to have your company this evening. So, the new Champions League season is up and running. 8 matches played, 16 goals scored, and Robert Lewandowski inevitably among the goals as Bayern beat Barcelona in Group E. Here are the night's results. The other match in that group between Dinamo Kiev and Benfica finished goalless. It was actually a pretty tough night for Manchester United in Switzerland against Young Boys. Cristiano Ronaldo netted once again. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was then sent off before the Swiss champions clinched the 3 points in the dying seconds. Elsewhere in Group F, 4 goals were shared out between Europa League champions Villarreal and Atalanta. Sevilla against Salzburg saw 4 penalties awarded, but only 2 were converted as that one finished 1-1. And it was also all square between Lille and Wolfsburg, whilst in Group H, holders Chelsea got off to a winning start, as you've just seen, as did Juve, winless in Serie A, but up and running in the Champions League. So that's what's happened so far tonight. Don't forget, we'll bring you Champions League tonight from 10:30 this evening. Before we get into the specific action from this Chelsea game, just a word on what the confidence levels will be like in that dressing room now at Stamford Bridge. They come into this season having won the Champions League. They look great. They don't concede goals. They've now got the striker they wanted. How will they be feeling?
Oh, they'd be feeling great. I mean, that was a routine Champions League assignment tonight. First game at home. There didn't need to be fireworks. They was a little bit off it in the first half. They wasn't, you know, quite what they have been from previous games, but they got the job done. Tuchel, what shows me tonight was the team is still responding to Tuchel. When he decides to whip the horse, they go, you know, and that shows that they're with him and they're together as a team and a unit. It looks to probably the most well-balanced squad out of all the Premier League. Like, when you talk about Man United, all the great players they got, there's still little question marks over that midfield area, just a tiny question mark. But with Chelsea, strength everywhere. You looked at the bench tonight, and you see world-class players just sitting down and not even look like they're going to come on. There's so much strength in depth. So Chelsea's a great club to be at the moment because everything's going so well.
I think Tuchel, I saw an interview before this game, and he talked about just the natural confidence that the team has from winning the Champions League, the Super Cup, obviously unbeaten in the league, even going back to last year, sort of their clean sheet since he's come in. And it almost does the team talk for him, you know, that natural confidence. I know at Cobham, Chelsea is a club to be at when you're winning. You know, when they're losing, it's not a good feeling. So he just had to come in, I'm sure at the half-time today, he just had to come in and say, right, ramp it up, guys. And they know what that looks like. And then we saw the professional performance and winning. But as Joe said, they're responding to him. This is a team that everywhere across the pitch, they've got strength.
You know what? They've got strength in terms of talent. but they've got strength in terms of stature as well. You were watching it and you went, man, they're a big, strong team.
They're a big, strong team, and they have the know-how now. The experience of winning the Champions League gives you a supreme confidence, yes. But when I watch them at the moment, every single situation that they come into, they go a goal down. They can go down to 10 men like they did at Anfield. They can go a goal up, see a game out. They deal with every situation that's coming around the corner now. Every situation they go into, and there's a confidence when they're doing it. There's an assuredness. There's a calmness when they're doing it. And that is, for other teams watching on, I think they'll be looking at that and thinking, whoa, these guys are serious. And you're not seeing many chinks in their armour at the moment. Listen, there's going to be ups and downs in this league. That happens during the season. But at the moment, you're looking at them and thinking, wow, they're answering every question at their door.
My only thing with Chelsea is the midfield. If I'm an opposition team looking at Chelsea, I'm thinking, pack out the midfield, outnumber them. They play two in there. You know, we saw Villa do it at the weekend. That's the only thing. How can Tuchel tactically deal with opposition who pack out the midfield? That's the only way I see Chelsea struggling this season.
I think teams will do what Sergei Semak's team did tonight at Zenit. They was good in certain aspects of the game. They blocked the midfield area. They was diligent. They dug in. They was organised, but they didn't have the outlet. There's a couple of occasions when they did everything right, got the ball, looked up, tried to drop it in behind, but then Chelsea have got Rudiger and Christensen who are rapid at the back, or Reece James or Aspilicueta, good defenders that concentrate. So they couldn't get out.
And at the weekend, I mean, we're seeing teams do that. Villa done it.
Yeah.
Villa played well to a point.
Yeah.
But then you breached the back line, the defence. Who's there? Mendy. Came up with 2 big saves at the weekend. So, they're answering questions at every single point. It's amazing to see. The transformation in the team's results and the confidence, is particularly in the players that weren't playing that the manager's brought in, has been phenomenal.
Shall we hear from him?
Yes, let's get him on.
Here he is then. Thomas Tuchel with Lindsay.
Thomas, congratulations. Before you made the breakthrough, how tough and frustrating a night was that?
No, it was not frustrating. It was tough. It's a very strong opponent, very good players individually to escape pressure. So we had to work really hard to have high ball recoveries, which we did. I felt a huge intensity from us that we brought actually to the game. Tried to keep the intensity high on and off the ball. And that took its time. We struggled a bit to create chances and shots in the first half. Second half was a bit easier for us to find little spaces and to find the moments to shoot and to create chances. And it was a deserved win, but it was hard work. It's the Russian champions. They did a good match. And it took us a while to also make them tired and with our intensity. So, good one. I like what I saw.
We saw Tony Rudiger walk past you. It felt like he was taking matters into his own hands in the second half of that barnstorming run. That really seemed to lift the atmosphere in here.
Yes, sometimes you need stuff like this. And it was not too crazy. It was well done. He put on pressure. And suddenly the gap opened and he went through and tried to finish himself. Marcos Alonso had a good chance. And then with the time, it was like a bit easier because we kept playing a bit better and I think they got a bit tired and it was harder for them to constantly defend all the spaces. Yeah, you need it. You need the energy from the crowd. It was a fantastic atmosphere today and a deserved win and a tough one. It's good. It's good experience.
And Romelu delivered for you again. What did you think of the ball from Cesar, the leap, the header, and the way he gave the goalkeeper no chance?
Yeah, no chance. It was an excellent header. It was a well-timed cross from Aspi from a good space. It's good because Aspi was brave enough to step up. We had high positions and the cross was excellent. Behind Romelu was, I think, Kai in the box. So we had bodies in the box and like in the last game, that's why he's here. He likes to score, and he was again decisive for us, which is great.
Is this another sign of the progress of this team coming through another tough test where not everything is going your way?
Yeah, and we expected a tough one because it's the highest competition in Europe and it's Russian champion and with a lot of quality players. So we had to be on our top level and was, like I said, I'm happy because we had to work a very lot. It was absolutely not easy, and it is good to constantly perform on that level. So it's another step ahead, because winning and another clean sheet is super important for the belief and for the belief and for our process. We're not finished, but we're in a good place to improve.
And how important to start with a win in the group. Juventus winning tonight as well, and of course a tough trip to Turin for you next.
Yeah, of course. It is always tough for me, group stage. Since I have the opportunity to coach on Champions League level, group stage is always complicated because teams are strong and you need to adapt to different systems, different style of play, to all the situations that can happen, yellow cards, red cards, penalties, whatever. So you have to be absolutely focused, and this is what we were. So first step is done, but there are another 5 matches in the group, and it's a long way to go.
Congratulations.
Well done, that man. Well done, his team this evening. It was interesting, wasn't it, for us four? Because we spoke at half-time about, do they make a change? Do they get more support up front? What does he do at half-time? They came out for the second half, and I think it was 34 seconds until we saw an immediate change. Running in behind, playing the ball much more efficiently, much quicker, much more intensity.
It's quite. Football's a simple game, Jake. We can talk about tactics. What Chelsea didn't do in the first half, they had no conviction. There was no runs going forward. The ball wasn't played. It was delayed. Chelsea could have played the first half 20 times in a row and they wouldn't have scored playing like that. He just come in and just wanted a little bit more intensity, and they upped it straight away. Mason Mount made a run in behind from inside to out, and it changed the game. Rudiger drive through. Look here, this is the one that really put it on the edge for me. He drove, and look at that for positivity. Driving straight up, puts him straight on the back foot. Look, doesn't get the finish right, but what it does, it takes lifts the crowd, the whole Zenit defence backed off, and this was the story of the game. Again, Alonso, in the first half, this would have gone backwards to Kovacic, but he just drops his shoulder, delivers it, and Lukaku has a sniff, and it was like this, wasn't it?
Yeah, Alonso playing much higher up there. As Joe said, that would have gone backwards. The goal, the goal has come from the centre-half stepping out. You see Rudiger there before stepping out. You've got runners right up against the Zenit back line. You're shifting the Zenit block. It was all too slow, moving sideways in the first half. There's a lot more intensity and more intent to the attack. Chelsea just moving the ball quicker, and you see the centre-halves are higher as well.
It was just being more positive, and I think that upping the intensity as well was key. And like the guys are saying, little moments like that in a game, Rudiger running out of it, a tackle at times, pressing high, it gets the fans back into the game, and they become that 12th man. And we all know what it's like when you're playing, especially at Stamford Bridge. When the fans get a little bit of something to cling on to, it's a hard place for the opposition to play. Yeah. And they produced that in the second half. But sometimes you need to push your fans. You have to do something to get the fans' reaction to then be behind you a bit more.
And they have got a little bit of something to cling on to at the moment. He's called Romelu Lukaku. And no matter what situation you're in, how tough it is, you just believe, don't you, that he's going to get a goal at the moment?
There's just one word with me. He's so efficient. Yeah. It's like he's... sometimes it's hard when you go to a new team to carry on the form you've had. Inter Milan, he scored so many goals there, and he's just continued that. And he only needs one chance. He actually didn't play that well in this game. You saw in a clip there, his layoff play wasn't great. Sometimes it looked like he needed just an extra touch. But in the box, he just needs one chance. He only needs an inch.
And he got it. And he took it.
You see it here, you see the movement. He just moves a little bit of an inch. For me, it's actually the ball that makes the goal from Azpilicueta, but it's the movement, a little pull-off, and again, he just knows where the goal is. He's come here to score goals. That's what he's come to Chelsea to do. And
great header.
Yeah, great header, great ball. Just a little pull-off there from the defender, and heads it down. Great goal.
Well, I think I found it a little bit difficult, apart from the goal, which announced how the finish day. But what he did do, he occupied all 3 centre-halves, because in that clip in particular, he attracts people to him. They're so concerned about him. You've got to give credit to Zenit because they blocked the lines, they couldn't get the ball into him. But he pinned them back because even when he's not playing well, he's such a presence, really. He just occupies him. I would imagine he would have been a nightmare to mark. Yeah,
100%. I think there's players like him with his strength, with his ability to roll people and really dictate the situation. You don't want to get too tight. But again, you see it there. You don't want to get too tight, but then you don't want to let him have too much space, because even there, he doesn't even need much space to actually finish the chance off. I mean, it's a great ball. And I just feel when you're in a team like that, when you've got someone like him up front, it's a beautiful feeling. You just think, let me just do my job and don't concede a goal. He will get a chance, and in the form that he's in, he will score us the goal to take us over the line. And it's no coincidence, this team are hard to play against. Tuchel's got them set up to be hard to play against. Yeah. Now they've got the weapons, or the weapon has come in to actually execute and end games.
And we're going to talk on Champions League tonight about who's the best number 9 currently playing.
Yeah, I love that. This is what I'm here for.
You're in the right place then, aren't you, so far? And we have sat here so many times over the last few months and described Thomas Tuchel as a tactical genius. He's going to have to do something to work out how to unpick this stubborn Zenit side, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Zenit have done a good job of neutralising Chelsea. I think the weakness in Chelsea's formation, the 3-4-3, is the midfield. We saw at the weekend with Villa, they packed out the midfield, they made it difficult. Jorginho, Kovacic in there, there's only 2 in there. Zenit have done a good job of packing this out. You see here, there's 8 bodies in midfield. They're stopping the ball going central. They've got 3 midfielders in there against 2. What Jorginho needs to do here is play quicker. Play it to Alonso, play the 1v1, so Alonso's got a 1v1 out wide. But he doesn't do it, which means Zenit are able to get across and just build that block. He plays the ball across. When it gets into Alonso here, this is where Rudiger, I think, can go round Alonso, play the 2v1, be a bit more brave on the ball. It's a bit slow, it's a bit laboured for Chelsea, don't you think, Joe?
Yeah, it is. It's been very cautious. And again, I think Thomas Tuchel now will probably look at this and think, right, do we need the 3 at the back? Can we shift it to a 4? Bring Tino Werner on, play him off the left, possibly Ziyech off the right, just to stretch the back 5 to make some space. Because at the moment, you've got 3 centre-halves picking up Lukaku, and it's no problem. Mason Mount and Ziyech can't get in the game because there's no space to operate. I think Tuchel's initial message will be just liven up, play quicker, like Ennie was saying. But I think this game might need something a little bit tricky, go to a back 4 and just try and open them up somewhere.
I think also, wide areas, when a team's that their intent is to sit there and soak up pressure, sometimes you've got to get round the sides and you shift them across the pitch, and don't get bored doing that. And then when the moment comes then to go direct into Lukaku, when you've moved them around, that's when you need the runners, that's when you need the players like Ziyech and Mason Mount then to join. And a couple of times that's happened and it's gone into Lukaku. They've done that really well, but it's been the next bit. It's been the layoff and the attention to detail in that area. But they need to play quicker, and I think they'll start creating chances.
There he is, looming large behind. Go on.
No, it's too easy for the fullbacks of Zenit because they can see Alonso and they can see Reece James. They need someone who's standing up right either side of them that's going to adjust their position so we can then get the ball into Lukaku.
They can afford to do that because they've got the 3 at the back against 1. So the 2 fullbacks can actually be the wingers. They can actually be higher. But I think Thomas Tuchel is cute enough to address that at half-time, and you'd like to see a difference in the second half.
I'd also like to see sometimes someone play right up with Lukaku. You know, there's a lot of balls into him direct. We've seen his hold-up play in this game. But someone actually be that second centre-forward sometimes. So go 3-5-2 a little bit, or really push on. But there's just not enough disruption of Zenit's block, I think, so far.
OK, well, they've got options on the bench and plenty of them. So will Thomas Tuchel be tempted